Hello my loves, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is your girl Kensthetic with the Kensthetics, and I'm here with you guys today with a new video. So in today's video, I'll be showing you guys how you can achieve a flawless base, a flawless foundation routine. I feel like a flawless base is literally the key to a fire beat, the key to a fire face. Like once the base is basing, everything else just naturally falls into place. So in today's video, I'll be sharing my tips as well as the products that I use to achieve a flawless base. Okay, we're taking it step by step. This is beginner friendly. This is, I'm a veteran, but I'm just trying to up my makeup skills friendly. And by no means am I MUA. Okay, I just do my little 1-2 and maybe a little 3-4. And I like to share what I do with you guys so that you guys can know, because duh, of course I need my people to know what I'm doing. So before we get started with today's video, make sure you guys subscribe to your girl's YouTube channel. Hit that red subscribe button down below. Make sure you guys have on your bell notifications so you never miss another video, bars or whatever. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy and find it helpful, and don't forget to comment down below with your thoughts, comments, questions, opinions that you have after watching this video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know that all of the products used and mentioned in today's video will be linked down below in the description box in the order that they are used. This will make it easy for you guys to reference. This will make it easy for you guys to shop. The links down below are affiliate links, so when you guys shop through those links, your girl makes a little coin. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But if you guys feel more comfortable, you can go on Beyonce's internet and search them on your own accord. But I know my people dumb, and I know my people dumb are not like that. And I know my people dumb, if they want to get something, they're gonna shop with the links down below, right? So here is my face, bare face. I did like my morning skincare routine. So the skin is glowing. Okay, if you guys want to see my entire morning skincare routine, I will link it up above in the card so you can check it out. But the skin has been skinning, honey, okay? And I also feel like before we get into the actual like makeup products for a flawless base, baby, your skincare is super important. You want to make sure you have a skincare routine both for the morning and night using products that target your skin concerns. That is super duper important. Once I noticed the difference of my makeup after like taking care of my skin versus before, like years ago, I'm like, oh, why y'all ain't tell me that taking care of your skin is a key to like a flawless makeup look? So you want to make sure you're taking care of your skin underneath your makeup. I do have a morning skincare routine currently on my YouTube channel, and my night skincare routine should be uploaded before this video or after this video, but it's coming soon. So, you know, sit tight. But yeah, skin has been skinning. Ooh. So let's go ahead and get into our flawless base. You want to make sure that you start your base with a primer. I cannot stress this enough, y'all. There was some time, okay, some years ago where I was not using a primer, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that I was proud of it, because after I started using a primer and noticed the difference, I'm like, oh, why y'all didn't tell me I needed a primer this whole time? Why y'all didn't tell me that my face was slipping and sliding because I did not have a primer on? Like, y'all weren't gonna tell me that? So it's super important for you to use a primer. If you're a girly who's like, oh, I don't need a primer, I'm here to tell you, sis, yes you do. You need a primer. So I always start off with a primer. Whenever I'm going for like a matte look, or whenever it is hotter outside or I'm in hotter climates, my Milk Hydro Grip is my go-to girly. Whenever I want more of like a dewy look, I prefer the Milk Cloud Glow Primer. But either way, when it comes to milk makeup is going to make up a great primer. So I would highly recommend checking out their primer, specifically this Hydro Grip primer. So I take like a pump and a half-ish, disperse it on my skin. Make sure you get your eyelids, under your eye, and I like to get my neck. So whatever I do to my face, I do to my neck. And that's with skincare, and that's also what makeup too, babe. So, and I like to let my primer set for like 3 minutes before I go in with my next step, just to make sure everything is set in place and like ready for what's to come, you know? I like to essentially just let it dry down a bit to just settle into my skin. And I also have acne prone skin. If you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that I have been battling with acne for the past few years. I have a whole playlist on my channel showing my acne journey, but all of the products that I'm going to be using in today's video are safe for acne prone skin as well as sensitive skin. So that's a plus. Like, you're gonna be beat, but you also gonna be using products that won't irritate your skin or anything like that. So yeah, I know there are a lot of babes out there who are like, I have sensitive skin, my skin breaks out, I experience texture on my skin. Babes, these products, these tips, these tricks, they're for you. And if you are a babe who has perfect skin, these steps and products are still for you. I don't know how some people don't like drinking water, but baby, one thing about me, I'm gonna drink some water. So I do have dark spots as well as hyperpigmentation on my skin. So before I go in with my foundation, contour, any of that, I always like to make sure that I conceal my dark spots and my hyperpigmentation. I know some people use like a yellow, a purple, a green, a blue to like the whole color theory of like canceling out colors. Baby, I keep it real simple and I keep it real cute, and that's something you guys are gonna learn about me, whether you are new to my YouTube channel or you guys are just tuned into this video. I keep it very simple, very cute, and very affordable too, okay? When I can keep it affordable, I'm gonna keep it affordable. But I like to just use a concealer that is my skin tone to correct my dark spots. So the concealer that I'm gonna use is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer in the shade 50N. So I'm gonna take this concealer and I'm basically gonna cover any like dark spots that I know will try to steal the show once we put our foundation on. And then once I apply that concealer, I'm gonna let it sit down for like 3 minutes so it can dry. So when it's time for us to blend it out, it keeps the coverage. That is the most important part about this step, is the coverage. So if I went in and started blending it right away, I feel like it wouldn't give as much coverage compared to when I let it sit for 3 minutes. So I let it sit a little bit, I let it marinate a bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out. So to blend out this concealer, I'm gonna use a sponge. I get these sponges from Amazon, and babes, these are literally my favorite. So I'm just gonna go in and press in the product that we just applied. You don't want to move it because we've already applied it exactly where we want it to sit. So I'm just pressing it in. And I feel like a sponge is an appropriate tool for this step because look at the coverage it gives. Excuse me? And peep the glow. Y'all see that? I know y'all see that. So now that we have corrected our dark spots, we have a nice flawless base. And if you are a babe who likes more of a light coverage, like no foundation, you can literally stop here, put on like your mascara, some setting powder, and babes, you are set for the day. But I am a girly who likes to do the most, specifically all of the time, okay? So we're gonna carry on. Next, I like to do my cream contour. I like to use the Tower 28 cream contour in the shade Simon to add dimension to my face. I like to do this step at the beginning because as we blend the additional layers that are gonna add dimension as well as a little bit of color to our face, I feel like it blends the most seamless for me when I start from my contour, go to my liquid blush, and then my liquid concealer. So we're gonna start off with contouring. So to apply my contour, I'm gonna use my canvas brush. I'm gonna use the buff side and pick up some of the contour. And I'm gonna press this onto my cheekbones. I like to apply it here. Like, I don't like to put it too low because I feel like when I put it too low, it like widens my face. With me putting it higher, I feel like it lifts my face up. So that's just a tip when it comes to placement. Don't put your contour too low. And then I'm gonna do my forehead. Since I have my hair in a puff. When I have my hair down, I don't really do much to my forehead. I'm gonna do like that. Like that, like that. Like that, like that. And I'm also gonna do a little bit on the sides of my nose, but I'm not picking up any new product. I'm using whatever product is left over on the brush. It's okay if it gets like wide. You see how here it super wide because we're gonna clean it up with the concealer afterward. With my cream contour, I like to blend it out right away because we don't really expect coverage from this. We really are using this to add dimension to the face. So I'm gonna use this brush. Yeah, I don't know where I got this brush from, but this is how it looks. I'm gonna use this to blend the cream contour out. When it comes to blending cream contour out, I'm literally just like pressing the product into where we placed it and slightly like dragging it upward so that it can have a nice diffused look. So this is how it looks once I blend it out, and then this is how it was before, just like placed and blended, nice and diffused. With my forehead, I'm gonna press it into place, and I'm also going to drag it down a little bit just to add a little bit of, once again, dimension to our face. If you bring it down too low, it's okay, because once we do our concealer, I'll show you guys how to clean it up a bit. And I'm just gonna blend, blend, blend. Blending is super important because we want everything to be nice and seamless. We don't want anyone clocking like, oh, she stopped using her concealer at 30 dimension, this coordinate. No, everything needs to be nice and seamless. With my nose, I'm just gonna press that powder in and kind of like drag it outwards. As I mentioned, we are going to clean this up using our concealer. So if it gets too wide, if it gets too crazy, it's okay, because I'm gonna show you guys how you can clean it up. So here's a contour. You guys see how it added more dimension to my face? We may look a little crazy right now, but everything is gonna make sense in a few. It's gonna make sense, just give me hang tight, okay? Next up, we're gonna go in with my liquid blush. We're gonna use my Lip Bar Fresh Glow Dream Blush in the shade 02 Sweet Cheeks. This is such a beautiful pink blush. I love this blush for like everyday use. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my blush and apply it on top of the diffused contour area. So you can see like the diffusion kind of stops here. So I'm just gonna apply 3 dots. I always like to apply 3 dots. That's like my measure of like good faith of liquid blush usage. 3 dots, I feel like that's enough. And I try to make sure it's symmetrical. I think that's pretty symmetrical, right? So to blend out my liquid blush, I'm gonna use the other side of my canvas brush. I love this brush so much. First of all, it's black owned, okay? It's black owned. You have one buffing side, you have one like blending side. So I like to use this side to blend out my liquid blush. And when it comes time to packing, I really love like double-ended brushes, because when it comes time to pack, baby, you pack one brush for 2 purposes. Like, excuse me? Yeah. I will do a double-sided brush each and any day, but this brush is such great quality. It's black owned. I'll have the link of it down below. Love, love, love. Canvas brush, canvas brush, canvas brush. So I'm gonna take the blendy side and I'm just going to press that blush in, and I like to bring it up a little bit into like this area of my face to give it like a nice balance with the contour. Just blend it in, and it gives like a nice soft touch to the face, like very feminine, very mindful, very considerate, very demure. I can't believe there was ever a time where I wasn't using blush. Blush just adds a nice like flush of color to the face, and with blush you can literally use any color, but once you blend it right and mix it with your products correctly for your liking, like, it does what it has to do, okay? If you bring your blush up too high, it is fine, because the next step we're gonna do can be where you clean up, but I just like to make sure it's like as blended and as diffused, because as I mentioned earlier, everything has to be nice and blended, nice and diffused. And also I feel like by bringing the blush up, it adds just like a nice element of dimension to the face. Like, blush isn't just supposed to be here, okay? Blush could be here. Sometimes I even put some blush on my nose just to balance everything out. Kind of look like Rudolph, but it's okay. It's gonna make sense soon. So next up, I'm gonna use concealer to highlight. This is also another step that serves the purpose of adding dimension to your face. So adding dimension, like, I'm not a color theorist or anything. I did not study color theory, but when it comes to dimension, you can either go lighter or darker. You can add a shadow or some sort of like brightness to add dimension. So the contour was more of like a shadow. It's darker than our skin. With the concealer that we're gonna use to highlight, you want it to be a little lighter than your skin so it can add dimension in that way. So to highlight, I'm gonna use my Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer in the shade 35N. And I'm going to take this concealer. I'm not the type of girl who likes a super cakey under eye. Like, once again, I keep it simple and I keep it cute. With the concealer, I like to just put a little bit in like the corner and then towards the end of my eye. And we're gonna blend that in between. But when it comes to the product placement, I don't like to apply too much product because I don't like the cakey under eye. I feel like that leads to more creasing, and we want everything to look as natural as possible. So then I take some concealer on my forehead. I just put a little bit. This little bit, it'll be dispersed amongst this 4 head, 5 head, 6 head, whatever's going on. And then I take some concealer down the bridge of my nose. You want to make sure that line is straight. Super important step. And then I take some under and over. Not too much on a stash though, not too much. I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry down a little bit before we blend it out. I feel like letting it dry down once again helps to add some more coverage. If you're going for more of like a translucent sheer makeup look, you could go ahead and start blending right away. But I like to let it sit, let it marinate for a bit, and then, you know, come back to it. It's blending time. So to blend out my concealer, I'm gonna use my Sephora 57 brush. This is a concealer brush. I love how this brush blends. So I'm gonna take this brush and I'm going to blend the concealer. I'm gonna start off with the concealer that we place closer to our nose, and I'm kind of moving the concealer towards that contour just to clean it up and make sure like we have a nice clean finish there. And then I'm also gonna blend some of it outwards to connect with the concealer that we applied at the end of our eye. And then I'm gonna blend everything upwards onto my eyelid. So it's like a swoop. And then I'm gonna make sure I apply it all over my eyelid, just to also use this as an eyeshadow base. Do you guys see how beautifully this concealer blends out? And this concealer is only like 15 bucks at Sephora. I told you guys, I like to keep it simple, I like to keep it cute, and I like to keep it affordable when I can. The concealer on my nose, I just blend it in. I'm not moving it. I'm literally just blending it where we applied it. Concealer on my forehead, I'm gonna blend it outwards. And this is the step where you can clean up, like if you brought your concealer on your forehead too low. I feel like I did a good job of placement today, so I'm just gonna keep it towards the center of my 4, 5, 6 head, whatever we have going on, and just making sure to blend it into like the beginning of my eyebrows. I feel like that gives a nice seamless look. My little Harry Potter scar. And then on my chin, I'm just gonna blend that out. So you see, nice and seamless. Things are coming together. We have a little bit more dimension because we added a little bit of brightness, and then we have the shadow. Babes, telling y'all. I'm also gonna use my sponge to blend the concealer as well. This step is gonna pick up any extra product, any extra liquid product before we go in and set with powder. So I'm gonna take my sponge and I'm basically just gonna dab it into the areas where we blended concealer. So even though I didn't have concealer on my eyelid, I blended it onto my eyelid. So I'm gonna make sure to go over that area with the sponge. I'm gonna look up and make sure you blend under that eye, baby. You wanna have the least amount of product in that creased area. And I'm just blending a little outwards with the sponge to diffuse that concealer into the blush. Nose, I'm just tapping. You ever look at yourself sometimes like, damn, I look good. Like, damn, you really did a good job. Like, God, you really took your time curating me. But if you want to stop here, you can go in with a little setting powder, brows, do. But once again, I'm extra and I like to do the most of the time, aka all of the time specifically. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of foundation. So foundation, I'm gonna use my Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation in the shade 50N. Once again, I like to keep it cute. I like to keep it simple sometimes, and I also like to keep it affordable. This foundation is 20 bucks at Sephora and it literally lasts a long time. A little bit of this foundation definitely goes a long way, so I take literally this much. We're only applying foundation to the areas we didn't apply any concealer, contour, or liquid blush, so that leaves us with like this area here, and I also put a little bit like around my mouth and down my neck just to make sure everything is nice, blended, and married. So the brush I'm gonna apply my foundation with is this Morphe E63 brush. I believe this brush has been discontinued, but I love the shape of this brush, so I'll find something similar and link it down below. Because look, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a little bit of the product, but when it's time to apply our foundation, I also use this as a step to clean up the contour so that it has like a nice sharp finish. But since this brush is flat, it helps me do that. So I like to just, you know, do that to clean it up. I'm in the middle of the party and all I'm thinking about is you. What else, Friday? What else you got for me? I like to bring the foundation down my neck because my neck tends to be a little lighter too, and I wanted to have a nice transition to like the darkness on my chest, because we're matching our face to our chest. Okay, we're not matching our face to our face. That's where people be messing up. We're matching our face to our middle of our chest. And I like to take some foundation, like extra foundation on the brush, and just apply it to that area between our concealer and our contour on the forehead. And then I'm gonna go in with my sponge just to pick up any extra product. So this is basically like the liquid portion of our foundation base routine. After I have all of my liquids applied and blended, I like to set. So I'm going in with my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, and I'm gonna take the setting spray and literally drench my face and my neck. I like to set with a liquid first because I feel like this helps like lock everything in before we go in with our powder. And after powder, I'm gonna set again with a different spray. Once again, there's a method to my madness. Trust the process, okay? I'm Kensthetic with the Kensthetics. I'm gonna do what the Kensthetics gotta do, baby. So once the setting spray is dry, we're gonna go in with our powder to set. So I start off by setting my concealer with powder. The powder I'm gonna use is a One Size Beauty Ultimate Blur Powder in the shade Marigold. If you know me, if you've been watching my channel, if y'all been rocking with me, I know how I feel about this powder right here. This is literally curated for my brown skin girlies, my dark skin girlies. Like the undertone of this powder. So to apply my setting powder, I like to start off with a brush first and then go in with a puff. I feel like that is what seals the deal. That's what works for me. So I'm gonna use this brush. This is the Morphe M5. Does it say 8 or 3? 8.6. I'll have the links to everything down below. And I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the setting powder. Yeah, I still don't know the correct way to disperse the powder out of this. Maybe I need to look on TikTok, but I have a method of doing this. But I dust off the excess brush and I press it into the areas where we had applied and blended concealer. So eyelids, under the eye, outwards. And I like how I feel like the stipple and the puff, like the stipples of the brush versus a puff, they give two different blends. And I feel like we need them both. We need them both. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit more. And also with the brush, it gives you more of a lighter set. And then the puff, oh baby, it gets in there. It gets to business. This is how the concealer looks when you set it with just the powder on the brush. So you guys can see. And then I'm also gonna go in with the puff on the same side just to show you guys like the elevation of it. Like it looks like this now. But baby, give me, oh, I need to get more powder. So To disperse this powder, let me show y'all how I do it. And then y'all can let me know in the comments if I'm doing it correctly or not. So I go ahead and I open a little whoop, I take the top and I pour powder into the top. Not me wasting my mighty gold. And then I dump that into the top. So this is how I get the powder out. I don't know if that's the correct way to do it, but that's how I've been doing it. I did go ahead and spill some powder on my lap, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that up. Pick up powder, dab the excess on my hand, and then I'm gonna press that in. Press it into your skin. And you guys can see how it elevated the sensation of it all. Like, so this is no setting powder, okay? Looking oily, looking greasy, look like a boiled egg. And then this is once you set it. So if you are not setting your liquids, make sure you're setting your liquids. You want to make sure you set any areas that like tend to crease easily. So for me, that is my eyelids. That is my small lines. And my forehead, because I am a very expressive gal, especially in the forehead department. I like to also set my brows, so when it's time for us to fill them in, they're nice and set. So we look a little crazy right now, we do, but please hold. Next up, I'm gonna set my cream. I'm gonna use my Sephora Collection Bronzer in the shade Ibiza. This contour is currently discontinued. It's not discontinued, they like redid it, they reformulated it. So I'll link the upgraded or the updated version of this below. But baby, this, if y'all go on Kohl's, if you go to Kohl's, Sephora at Kohl's, they may still have this, okay? They may still have it. I gotta check the website to see if they have it, but if they have it, baby, I'm telling y'all, get this stuff. The brush I'm using is from the Lip Bar, baby. This used to be a double-ended brush. Y'all know how I feel about double-ended brushes. Y'all should be able to tell by now. But it used to be, but I lost the other half of the brush, y'all. So I only have this side left, and I like it for my bronzer. But Lip Bar, if y'all are watching this, please, I'm about to post on Instagram. Please bring back this brush. Please bring it back. 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 So I take my bronzer and I apply it on top of the areas where we put cream contour. So that is the forehead, the cheeks, and the sides of our nose. I like to bring it downwards just so that it can marry the powder that we use to set our concealer. Make sure you get the sides of your nose. You want to be very careful with this to make sure that you're just doing the sides, that we have a nice snatch nose. Doom, 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 boom, doom, doom, doom. Next up, we're gonna set our liquid blush. To set our liquid blush, I'm gonna use my Dior Blush in the shade 01. I'm gonna use this brush from Milk Makeup. I think this is like a powder brush, but I like it for the blush. So I like to pick up a good amount of powder blush and sweep that on top of the areas where we had applied our liquid blush. The importance of setting your liquids is just to make sure that everything can be long lasting, and also it gives a nice finishing look. Everywhere you apply liquid, that you set it with a powder. So this blush does a great job setting that shades in the same color family. Very demure, very mindful, very considerate. And then of course, we also have to set our foundation, because that was another liquid step. To set my foundation, I'm gonna use my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder in the shade Toffee. I'm literally hitting pan on this, y'all. Like, I'm hitting pan on this. And I'm using this Real Techniques powder brush. It's like a big fluffy brush. I pick that up and then I apply it to the area we applied the foundation. So here, remember we put some up here. Let me draw my brows on and then we're gonna set. Your girl got some brows, okay? Period. So to set the powders, I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This setting spray is literally the truth. You guys see how much I have left in this bottle, but it's okay because your girl has backup. And let that dry down. I'm gonna go ahead and then do the rest of my face, my lippies, my lashes, and all of that. And then I will be back to show you guys the final look. So here is the final makeup look. You guys can see that the base eats, okay? Eats. All I did was throw on some lashes, the lippy, and that is it. You guys see, the face looks good. The face eats. The face is beat. Period. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. As I mentioned, all of the products used in today's video, used on and off camera, are linked down below in the description box. So make sure you guys check it out, okay? I look good. I feel good. I am good. I really hope you guys found at least one thing helpful from this video. So if you did, make sure you comment down below and let your girl know. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give this video a big thumbs up. And I love you guys so much. And I'll see you guys in my next one.